everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel again. So today we're going to cook a very simple dish for just two people. So I'm using a beef beef chunk ribs, and this one, guys, if you likes to barbecue, it's perfect for barbecue. But today I'm gonna make this is kind of like a stew kind of. So it's very simple along with my potato and carrots. So let's get started. Since our pan is already hot, so we're gonna do the garlic first. So we're gonna let our garlic to get a little bit brown. Let me just grab my carrots. And I just used 3 potatoes and 3 carrots, and anyway, it's just me and my hubby, so we don't need a lot of the veggies in it. So it's just a very small dish. But the reason I'm gonna do this way, guys, like saute it, I felt like, especially when you're using crockpot or Instapot, I like to saute my garlic or my onion along with everything before I transfer it to the Instapot. So it kind of let the flavor of your garlic and onion into the meat and the vegetables, because once you put everything in the Instapot, so you cannot really adjust it. So I like to do this way, and then before I transfer into the Instapot. So in the Instapot, it only like take 30 minutes. So if you're like me, sometimes you're busy, you don't have time. So this is a perfect way to do your meal. That way you can have time to do other things too. Now I'm gonna put the onion, and then we'll add our meat. So I hope you guys learn something from my cooking. So I will try to upload more videos about my living on a budget food. So there's a lot of ways, like I said, that you can always improvise. You don't have to go fancy, for a simple meal. And, and cooks really fast and healthy, So, and then we're going to put our meat. There we go. So that's my trick, guys. I'm going to show you for those of you who likes to use like Instapot or Crockpot. But for me, ever since I started using the Instapot a month ago, I prefer to use the Instapot over Crockpot. It's really fast, and the taste of the food is a lot different than the Crockpot. So I really enjoy using my Instapot, guys. So that's just my personal observation between the Crockpot and Instapot. So I do prefer using the Instapot over Crockpot. And guys, we're gonna season this, a little bit of salt. There we go. And then I'm gonna try to flip the meat using my tongs. That way to give your meat a little bit of flavor, because I'm kind of like a salty person, but I try not to be salty, but I like to give it a good flavor so that I don't have to add any salt later. So I'm gonna add a little bit of salt on the side. There you go. It's not a lot, guys, And we're gonna add our black pepper. This is my favorite one to use, guys, the grinder. And I find it really different. Like the taste of the food using the pure, peppercorn, it tastes different. I just prefer this one now. There you go. And we're gonna flip it, guys, so that we can also put some on the back on the other side. It smells so good. I just love the smell of the garlic, guys. Like I've always like used, whenever I cook, I cannot cook without the garlic. For some reason, it's always give a good flavor, and also the smell in the kitchen. It's really awesome. There we go. And this time, guys, since we're going to transfer into the Instapot in a little bit, I'm just gonna go ahead and put our carrots and potato together on our meat. There we go. So we're gonna let it, you know, saute with our meat. That way we can have all the flavor in our, you know, meat and vegetables. So we can mix them together. There we go. And I'm gonna add a little bit of salt, not too much, okay? Because you don't want your meat to be salty. A little bit of garlic powder. So I don't measure, you guys. I just put, you know, I just knew, like, you know, some people are very good and like they love to measure everything that they put into their food, but I'm not those type that likes to do that. I just like knew how much I put in. So I'm gonna add a little bit of black pepper. There we go. And because, guys, I don't have a name for this dish, but I consider this like a rib beef stew with vegetables. So I like to put a little bit of this mother vinegar. So I just use this organic mother vinegar. So, but I transfer them in this. That way, you know, you don't have a lot of big bottles in your kitchen. So if you are like get annoyed with so much bottle in your kitchen, or where you have all your ingredients, so you can always buy something like this. It's only $1. You can go to HEB and buy it from there. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this to give a little bit of tangy flavor for my dish, and a little bit of soy sauce. There we go. So we're gonna let those soak a little bit, guys. And since this is kind of like a stew, what I'm gonna do before I put them in the Instapot, guys, I'm gonna show you how to make your sauce a little bit thicker. So since we're going to use the Instapot, so it's gonna be hard for us to open it up, because Instapot, once you close it, that's it. You cannot touch it until everything is done cooking in your Instapot. So while I have this, let it simmer, guys, I'm gonna go get me a cup, and I'll show you how to make your sauce thicker. So I'm gonna put like half a cup of hot water in this one. So while this one is simmering, guys, I'm going to teach you how to make your gravy. So since I want to make this like a stew, so I already put like half a cup of water in here. And I don't have cornstarch, but I'm just going to use flour to do that. So I'm just going to use this much and put it in here. So whenever you do like making like a gravy and put the flour or cornstarch, guys, I find it easier to use the hot water, because if you do cold water, they're like, you get those little bubbles, and I hate them, and you're just like there forever staring on them. They don't dissolve. It takes a while to dissolve. So so use hot water, guys, whenever you use a flour or cornstarch. But I think the cornstarch does dissolve faster than the flour, guys. So there we go. So I'm just gonna keep stirring this, and that way when your meat is cooked, you have a thicker sauce, you know. Yeah, there we go, guys. And we're just gonna keep stirring that. And that's good enough. And I'm gonna flip my meat in here. There we go. So this is should good enough, guys, that our meat and the vegetables, all the flavor should get already soaked into the meat. So we can go to our next step, which is the Instapot. So let's go. Now we're going to transfer our meat in our Instapot. So this is my Instapot, guys. And my stove is already off, and we're going to transfer these babies. Look how beautiful it is. So, you know, this is enough to feed like 3 people, I think. So, I'm gonna start with putting my meat in there. Because this pot, guys, is a little bit heavy. So, I'm gonna put the meat inside. And then we're going to put all the veggies in there. Awesome. There we go. Our meat is inside our crock pot. You see that? Yum. So we're gonna add. So now that our meat is inside the crock pot, guys, since we already have this flour mixed with water so that we can have a thicker sauce. So we're gonna dump this in there, and then we're going to close our Instapot. There we go. I'm gonna stir that before I'm gonna close, okay? That way they kind of like your meat and your vegetables kind of even out, guys. So make sure to stir a little bit before you close it, okay? There we go. So in this case, guys, I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar. I like it a little bit tangy flavor and sweet. So I use a brown sugar. So I have a brown sugar here. So we're just gonna need a little bit. That's my secret, guys. That's my secret. I always use brown sugar for my food. So yeah, I love that. That is done. Let's see. So in this case, guys, before you close this, and you can taste, since you already sauteed and everything, if you want to add a little bit of salt, you could always do that before you close that. All right. So and stay tuned, guys, for the next. I'll show you the finished product once it's done cooking. So we're gonna cook this for 30 minutes in this Instapot. There you go, guys. Our Instapot beef ribs stew with potato and carrots. It's already done. It's only take about 30 minutes to cook it. It's delicious. So we're about to dig in for this just for dinners. There we go. We are done. We're about to eat. I garnish it with the chives. So, or you can use cilantro like other people that love cilantro, or actually you can chop it off and put it on the top of your stew. So presentation for the food is very important if you're in a restaurant, but even if you're at home, to make your food appetizing, you could always garnish it. Like what I did is just simple but look appetizing. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and we'll see you for the next tutorial of my food living on a budget. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you like this dish, or if you like to request more food living on a budget that I do, just comment below. And thank you again for subscribing.